If you want to have as stress-free of a launch as possible, you need to make sure that you have a plan and that that plan is being worked on in the months before the launch. Hello and welcome to your launch wellness checklist. My name is Alex Beaton. I am your biz bestie launch strategist. And if you are someone who is looking to either launch your online course or your membership site, but you really want to prioritize your wellness along the way, this is the video for you. Back when I had my first six-figure launch, one of the most important changes was that I made one decision that I was going to prioritize my energy and my well-being above following my to-do list. I had created a to-do list for myself that I believed was the epitome of exactly what I had to be doing in order to have the perfect launch. And in all of my previous launches, I had really gone above and beyond to make sure that I ticked every single check off that list. If it said I had to go live, I went live. If it said I had to host a webinar, I hosted a webinar. Whatever my magical list said was exactly what I did, and I did it to a T. But what I realized is that it burnt me out. And so when I was having my first six-figure launch, at the time I didn't know it was gonna be my first six-figure launch, but during the launch, I decided to prioritize my well-being. To me, that meant taking a nap, if that's what my body said that I really needed, instead of going live. It meant postponing an entire day of my challenge because I was just feeling exhausted. It was about leading from a place of wanting to be of service. I was very clear on the fact that I wanted to have a first six-figure launch, and I was very specific during the launch in terms of the work that I was doing visualizing my first six-figure launch. And if you want to learn more about that, check out episode 44, because that's a brilliant episode that walks you through how I do that. It was the first time where I really just gave myself permission to do my best and not obsess over the end goal. When you're in the middle of a launch, it's kind of like you're riding a wave, right? You're surfing, and you need to be able to be so present in the moment. Do you like my moves, by the way? You need to be able to be so present in the moment that you can sidestep if you need to sidestep, that you can change the plan if you need to change the plan. And sometimes the rigidity of giving yourself a to-do list of like, these are all the things you must do, can be energy draining. So I've learned a lot about prioritizing your wellness. And I would say that it's one of the things that makes me very different as a launch strategist, is that I'm going to push you to make the most amount of money while prioritizing your wellness. I have 5 tips for you when it comes to your wellness. The first one is planning your launch. You need to have a launch that is planned so perfectly that you know exactly what is happening and at exactly what time it's happening. You want to be strategic and plan things in advance, but also be flexible enough in the moment that, like I said, if you need to make a change, you can make it quickly. When I first started launching, I would leave the launch plan and strategy to the very last minute, and it would end up in a chaotic launch where I was doing everything at the last minute, like literally staying up till the night before filming things. And that is just not the way that I want to do business. If you want to have as stress-free of a launch as possible, you need to make sure that you have a plan and that that plan is being worked on in the months before the launch. The second tip is to review that plan as the CEO and get very clear on launch roles and responsibilities. Hopefully you're not doing this launch on your own, but if you are, that's completely fine as well. It's still very important to get clear on what needs to get done and when, and if you have a team, by whom. So within my launch team right now, there are 5 of us. So 2 people are working part-time, 3 of us are working full-time. Everyone knows what their role is during the launch. There's no questioning of like, oh, this thing needs to get done. Well, whose responsibility is that? We use tools and systems and processes that make it very clear to understand which tasks belong to whom and who is responsible for what. We have weekly and during the launch bi-weekly meetings so that there's zero confusion about what's going on and to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Tip number 3 is my personal favorite tip when it comes to your launch wellness checklist, and it is to have a support system in place. So in the same way that we look at our team and you ask yourself, okay, who's responsible for what? It's the same thing in your personal life. When you're going into a launch in the way that you and I launch, it is an all-encompassing thing. It's not just like you clock in and clock out. It's something that is going to be all-consuming for you, right? So who is going to be your support system? So I know that for me, my fiance Nick, he is a massive part of my support system, and I have to warn him months in advance to be like, yo, my launch is coming up. Make sure you have it in your calendar. And so giving him warning, letting him know that like we can't have people over at the house over this period of time. I'm not gonna be available for events during this period of time. And also inviting him to surprise and delight me and treat me like a queen as much as possible over those weeks. That is me doing my job and making sure that he is going to be there for me. So the things that I want you to consider are, number one, speaking to your partner if you have one, or anyone that you live with. So whether you have children or you have roommates or you are married or whatever your situation is, speaking to that person and letting them know what to expect and how to support you during your launch, vital. The second thing that I want you to do is to put things in place to help support you in case your responsibilities go out of control during that week. The next thing that I want you to consider are what services can you sign up for that's going to help you feel better during your launch. So for example, when I'm launching, I get a massage at least once a week. To me, it's like it forces me to slow down, it forces me to relax, and it really nourishes me during a launch. The second thing that I do is sign up for food delivery services. So your support system is going to be different depending on your lifestyle, your habits, and your individual needs. But I want you to sit down from now before your launch to figure out what are those things and how can you get best prepared. The fourth part of your launch wellness check-in is mindset. Mindset is so important when it comes to your launch that within the Ultimate Launch Bootcamp, which is my new training that I'm so excited for you guys to see, it's a live 5-day boot camp, and every single day of the boot camp, we're starting our mornings off with a 15-minute mindset session. Not only are we gonna be having those mindset sessions, but I'm dedicating day 2 to your launch mindset and understanding the beliefs that you need to have in order to have your first 6-figure launch. Tip number 5, when it comes to your launch wellness checklist, everything with your launch starts from within. One of your jobs as the CEO of your business, as you prepare to go into launch mode, is to become a detective of how to expertly take care of yourself. You need to be so full, so well nourished, and just vibrating on another frequency in order to be the leader that you need to be to really knock this launch out of the ballpark. So there's a lot of obvious things like exercising, moving your body, drinking lots of water, making sure you're eating the right foods, things like that, supplements. But then there's also some non-obvious things. So for example, for me, I noticed that I'm just so influenced by music. I need to make sure to have launch playlists in place so that when I get into a stressed state of mind, I can put on my headphones, listen to a playlist, and just get back in the zone. Another thing I love to do is make voice notes to myself in the future. I record it on my phone, and it would normally be something like, hey Alex, so today is June 7th, but I'm recording this from the past. I just want you to know how proud of you I am, how much I'm thinking of you during this time. You get the gist. What do you need to do to make sure that you are expertly taken care of, and how can you start doing those things from now to make sure that you are prepared for when your cart opens? Before you run away, I really want to hear from you. When are you planning your next launch? Leave a comment below and let me know which months are you aiming for? Do you have a specific date? Like, scheduling wise, when are you planning to next launch? Let me know in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear from you guys. If this video on your launch wellness checklist resonated with you, then chances are you're going to love the Ultimate Launch Bootcamp. It's a live 5-day bootcamp experience with yours truly, where I'm going to be talking to you all about the different things that I think are most important when it comes to preparing for your first 6-figure launch. I'm gonna leave the link below so that you can jump on the waitlist to make sure that you are the first to know, because we're gonna be doing something special for the first people who sign up. So make sure that you're one of the first. When it comes to launching your online course or membership site online, I'm your girl. Make sure that you're signed up to the Ultimate Launch Bootcamp waitlist. I'll leave the link below, and I will see you guys again next week.